good, brother?
Oh, what a night.
Man, what a night.
The Pistons picked 18 and 49.
King Henry, he was there for the time.
What a draft, oh, what a night.
Man, I am so fired up today, I can't lie to you.
What do you think, man? Welcome, this is Drew here with the Pass First Hoops Cast, an emergency meeting of the minds.
This is Pat. We had to jump right back on. It was such a wild night all around.
We're talking the NBA Draft 2016. It's the day after, June 24th. We are talking about what the Pistons did last night.
Always a lot of fun the day after. There's so much content out there, just so much draft grades, so many different feelings. But I really feel like the Pistons, we did it right last night.
It seems like it. So let's start with what we did. We drafted Henry Ellenson in the first round and Mike Gbinije. It is not Gbinije, which is what it looks like when it's spelled.
I don't believe so, but love the name, and I love the player.
Agreed. First round, you're watching the draft. I didn't get a chance to watch it. It started at 2 a.m. here. What are you thinking as you're watching the first round unfold from a Pistons mind?
Kind of like all our guys are like right there. Like everyone we kind of talked about. Like we almost didn't talk about Ellenson because I think most people figured he would be gone by 18. Like I saw him in a lot of top 10s, a lot of late lotteries. It was very surprising, and he was kind of a guy that I pinpointed thinking that he would be someone who couldn't be more perfect for us.
I didn't see him really projected anywhere outside of the lottery.
Right, and I saw him in like this last mock on CBS, like going like 8 or something. I had pretty much said goodbye to him, but then again, I said goodbye to DeJounte Murray as well. So this draft was crazy. There was a run on international players right before Ellenson, and I was like, thinking to myself, oh my God, he's going to be there. And 19 years old, he's super young. He's an unbelievable player. 1
year at Marquette where he was a freshman, first team All Big East, freshman of the year, 6'11", 240. He very focused on being a versatile player. What's not to like about this kid?
He's got a great looking stroke. His three-pointer is still developing. His mid-range game is beautiful. He has really nice touch around the rim, and he rebounds super hard. And for a 19-year-old, that's really impressive.
Double-double average last year, 10 rebounds a game.
Love it, yeah, 17 and 10. Like, the dude's just cleaning the glass over at Marquette. McDonald's All-American and Mr. Basketball in Wisconsin. I'm shocked that he wasn't a Badger. Seems like one of them.
Right, that's a great point. Out of Rice Lake, Wisconsin, and also played for the FIBA U17 team, and they won the gold medal in Dubai. That's a team that Stanley Johnson is familiar with, some of those younger international basketball teams representing the U.S.
Yeah, I love when they get the experience on the younger team, and Ellison put together some nice games on that squad, so that's some really good experience, and I kind of feel like he's the steal of the draft.
It seems like it.
I think so.
I follow some outlets on Instagram, and one of them is the Pistons Army, and they put out a picture of the pick, and a user named the.tigers.report said he doesn't fit the system. How would you argue that?
I mean, I guess if you really want to nitpick, you're going to say that he doesn't have that three-point shot yet. He didn't shoot great from the three in college, but against that is he's 19 years old. Like, he's still figuring out what he is. We put him in a system and develop him. I don't know how you could ever say that.
One promising thing, a lot of things I've read, is that he has really clean shooting form.
Like, beautiful. Jay Billis went crazy about it last night when we picked him.
Really?
He's like, his stroke is amazing. Like, just went off. This is a guy who was ranked very highly by ESPN.
When Chris Dunn went off the board at 5, I saw Ellenson was the number 4 best available in Billis's eyes.
I'm still in shock that he was there. I just, there were some really good players that went before him, and this was kind of the draft to go get your guy, but I don't know, he seems kind of like a sure thing almost, and he seems like someone who can definitely be part of our rotation immediately.
One thing that was really cool to follow was just looking at some of the Pistons' current players on social media.
They were all like congratulating him. I was loving it.
Yeah, and he's retweeting it and saying thanks, and it's so cool to see. Reggie Jackson sent a video saying, get ready for a historic season.
Oh boy, did you hear about how Dre hit him up on FaceTime to tell him that we were picking him before SVG even did?
Wow, that's amazing.
Ellenson was like, I could barely even hear it amongst all the chatter there in the green room, and I didn't even really know what was going on, and then Stan Van Gundy next calls me.
In the green room, too? It's not even like he's at home.
Right, and he was a little down, like he was slipping. That must have been really tough for him. So
wow.
He got put into a really nice situation, though, and I'm really excited to see him. I'm just on cloud 9 today.
You might wonder, did the Pistons organization look at our Instagram post yesterday with me rapping over the Kanye West song Testify, because Henry Ellenson has noted that one of his favorite artists is Kanye West?
I would assume they probably did, and that was one of the final factors, at least.
Seems like a safe assumption to make. Anything else about Henry as a player or personally that you like?
Kind of greedy, but I see him as maybe the next Dirk.
A lot of people have drawn that comparison, but he can certainly dribble it well, and he has no problem creating his own shot.
Right, like I think he's even more versatile than Dirk, to be honest, and probably a better rebounder. So I think he's got that kind of range, and playing next to Dre, he really fits nicely. So I can't wait to see that out there.
Yeah, and one player he mentioned as his favorite player and who he tries to take a lot of stuff from is Carmelo Anthony.
I can see it. He's got that mid-range kind of game like Melo, which is really interesting.
It seems obviously like he likes to kind of create his own shot from the mid-range.
He creates really well, and for a guy at 6'11", that's pretty impressive. But, that's kind of that new school. Indeed. Everyone can do it.
So hit him up on Snapchat, Henry Ellenson. Okay, so then we hopped into the second round, and what are you thinking as the draft unfolds? We're approaching our pick. Is this a guy that you wanted, Mike Gbinije, or did you have somebody else in mind at the time?
I do really like Gbinije. I saw him play in person when I went to the Notre Dame Cuse game over at Cuse. I watched a lot of Cuse basketball. He was the leading scorer on that Cuse squad that made that run. He was kind of the leader. He's a facilitator. He's older. He could probably play minutes right away. He's a really good defender.
He was born in 1992, so he's, just turned 24 years old.
Yeah, he started off at Duke and then, a time with Coach K, and then he went over to his good buddy Jimmy B and played 3 seasons over there, and every year he improved vastly.
Yeah, a couple things. This year, every single game he was in double digits, led the ACC in steals and minutes, and when they kind of broke the story about him getting drafted on Syracuse.com, they were just saying he came to Cuse as a small forward with athleticism, but with no ball handling skills and no jumper. And then he turned himself into Syracuse's starting point guard and became a consistent 3-point threat.
Wild, huh? At 6'7".
Right.
Kind of switch roles like that after kind of being pegged as a small forward type. That's why it's been kind of weird for me this morning. I'm seeing a lot of people saying how he's a small forward and whatnot, but he's that new school point forward, point guard. I'm thinking Sean Livingston with a little bit of Draymond and, more range than Sean.
Yes, actually, he has said he models his game after Sean Livingston.
I believe it. It's obviously an easy comp because they're both really tall point guards, but I think he's someone who could give us some good minutes at that either guard position. He's just got a lot of length.
I really agree, and a lot of people were calling for the local boy, Kay Felder. But
obviously I think everyone was a little upset with Kay not being drafted. We all love him. He's very much that star around here, and with his size and where he's at, I just think Gbinije really fits what we have going on a little bit more and what we need.
I agree. Felder seems like a great kid. He's a great player. But his size alone, how is he going to defend the John Walls, the Russell Westbrooks, some of these bigger point guards that is the standard now? Gbinije can carve out a role based on his size alone and then his ability to shoot threes. He was 39% from deep last year.
He can go out and guard three different positions. We popped in a smaller Steve Blake this year with that second unit, and a lot of time, it was tough defensively against some of these guards out there.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law from Syracuse really fired up today, and he hit me up and was like, I need to get a Grand Rapids Drive jersey. And I'm like, hey, don't speak too soon. That might be a Pistons jersey.
He's seasoned, so I think we'll see him this year.
It obviously depends on where we go with free agents and whatnot and how the roster shakes out. But I love that 4-year, even 5-year in his case, experienced kind of vet leader that we're just kind of popping in with a group of young guys. I think it's a really nice mix.
True. I think he'll fit in well in the organization as a whole, wherever he is.
He played for the Nigerian national squad.
That is so cool.
His dad's Nigerian. I guess in the Afro-Basket 2015 tournament. I don't know anything about it.
I think maybe a future 14 minutes of Mike Gbinije might be coming, and I want to dig into his Nigerian roots.
I think this is another SVG kind of guy. We saw Hilliard drafted around this time last year, and I just like where we go with these picks. Everything seems very calculated.
Another thing I thought was interesting, both Gbinije and Henry Ellenson are repped by Rock Nation.
Oh, same agent, huh? That makes things easy.
Yeah, same agency, and they worked out together a couple months ago.
So buddies, maybe they'll be roommates.
Yeah, these guys are already buddies, so that makes the whole transition more comfortable, I'm sure. A comfortable transition, like switching your managed print services provider to our sponsor, Detroit-based Image One. Easy, efficient, reliable. Image One is just that in the world of managed print. If you work in a USA office with printers, copiers, or multifunction devices, let Image One use their progressive approach in completely managing your environment. That means everything works, and you don't have to think about some confusing printer. Visit imageoneway.com. That's image, O-N-E, way.com. Click Contact and mention the Pass First Hoops Cast to schedule a free assessment of your organization that will instantly save 15 to 20% in printing costs. Back to more 2016 draft chatter. What are you seeing about how our draft is being perceived? I mean, neither of these picks are very arguable.
No, I think everything I've seen is that we got the steal in Ellenson, and people really like him, and then we got kind of like the know what you got, kind of ready to go dude in Gbinije. Nice value there at the 49 spot, and I'm seeing grades of B pluses, A's, like nothing low. Like I think everyone also really has respect for SVG, so they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right, I've gotten that vibe as well. What did you think when Thon Maker went off the board at 10?
Dude, I was so happy. I love the pick for the Bucks. I think the way that they swing for the fences, the way they did it before, I just love it. They need like a shot in the arm over there.
Just go after it.
And I think the age stuff is it is what it is. Like, people questioned Bismack right before the draft, and, I don't know whatever came of that. Like, it just kind of happens.
Yeah, it's not like he's 32.
Like, it's not like he's 35 years old and aging. Like, Shabazz Muhammad went through it. It's just kind of something that comes out. And Thon looked massive, dude. He wasn't even in the green room. He just got up out of the stands, and they, interviewed him. He was pretty well spoken, actually. And he's like, yeah, I didn't even want to sit in the green room.
Maximum comfort. I like how he's opting for that.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a Thon Maker slappy.
I am as well, and I like thinking about him in a Bucks uniform, honestly. I think that's a good color scheme fit for him.
It is, and it's such an interesting group of players over there in Milwaukee.
Longest combined wingspan of any team, I would think, would be the Milwaukee Bucks. What else do I want to ask you? Oh, is there anyone you would have rather picked that was on the board than Ellenson at 18?
Honestly, no, I wouldn't. Like, I know you and I really like DeJounte, and he was there. I think what Ellenson can give us right away is just so much bigger than grabbing, I guess, a guy who you're going to have to develop for a couple years. Like, I really think we can pop Henry right in there.
And this is comfortable for him. We're going to be able to put him in a situation where there's just not too much pressure on him.
This is basically a younger version of the trade we made earlier in the season with Demo, Motajunez.
Yep.
And now we have a guy that's literally 6 years younger.
Exactly what I was thinking. Younger. Obviously, being younger, there's not going to be as much injury history, but no injury history.
No injury history, and we get to kind of mold you into who we need you to be within our system. We're kind of like starting from the beginning with you. I love it.
Would have been really cool and fun to get DeJounte Murray, but I don't think we had really considered Ellenson being on the board, and seems like a good kid, too, which is exciting.
I'm excited to see what he can bring. See him in Summer League with Stanley Johnson. It's going to be great.
That will be really fun. Another question. Would you have rather had Thaddeus Young or Henry Ellenson? Because
Henry Ellenson, without question.
Okay, because we saw the Pacers, 2 picks behind us, trade that pick for Thaddeus Young.
I like what the Pacers did, especially with Teague, and obviously Thad Young has done it in the league, but you kind of know what you have with Thad, and I think the ceiling on Henry is just so much bigger.
I think I would go Thad with that question. Actually, Pat, I disagree. We've been getting some feedback that we don't disagree enough. I would rather have Thad Young.
To be honest, for some reason, Thad Young's never really done it for me. He's good. He's a good player. I just am afraid to put someone like that in the mix with our guys.
He has a good mindset.
All.
I think he's coachable, and I think he would accept any role and could kind of be a leader of our second unit or even take over sometimes in first unit. But you are right. The ball does stick with him a little much.
Him being on the second unit would scare the hell out of me. I just don't know if he thinks he's that kind of a player.
True.
But, then again, I don't really know much about his personal, what he's like on the floor, what kind of teammate he is. But, I just feel like he kind of has been there, done that. He's earned the right to be a starter in this league.
I agree, but he's coming from Brooklyn. I mean, he's just got to be thrilled to get out of there and join a winning organization. I would hope, as a professional who likes to win, that he would be able to value winning.
Hey, if something would have happened with Thad Young today, I would have been the biggest Thad Young guy you would ever have seen.
Right, yeah. We're always going to buy in. That's the safe bet.
I can tell you that much. And, Thad he's a nice player that can play multiple positions. He can shoot it a little bit. He can really rebound the ball. He's super athletic. He can't be that old, right? I mean, he was like a one and done.
He's 29, 28.
Right. He's a vet, and I can see him fitting. That is a tough question. I'll give you that. That's a tough question, especially with already the youth we have.
Exactly. Can we take the last little bit to talk about my favorite player in the NBA?
Sure.
Victor Oladipo.
The Thunder, dude, I love it.
I woke up,
more into it.
I see it, and my heart is just pounding. So I looked through your tweets from the draft, and I saw something like Russ and Oladipo teaming up, and I was like, oh, maybe they're working out together or something. And then I see Victor Oladipo is about to be on the Oklahoma City Thunder. This is amazing.
I thought that the Thunder, once again, rolled the Magic just like we did.
When I first saw it, I thought,
it's unbelievable.
Okay. I thought Oladipo for Serge Ibaka straight up. Like, I really did think that was the trade.
Not only are you going to also grab Sabonis. What?
Sabonis and Ilyasova,
and our dude,
who is more. He is exactly the role that the Thunder wanted Ibaka to be.
Erson will play 15 plus minutes and probably shoot a better percentage than Ibaka.
Yes, they'll lose out on the defensive end, but with Adams roaming, I love it for the Thunder, and I'm thrilled that Victor Oladipo could be in a playoff game guarding Steph Curry and just bringing his energy and his swagger, and gets an opportunity to play alongside two of the best players in the world. This is everything I ever wanted for Victor.
I knew how much you were going to be obsessed with this, and especially because we're both kind of, we're Thunder guys. We like them.
Yes.
We like Russ. I like the combination. KD, obviously, being in question, I think this should obviously make his decision a no-brainer. I even think with Serge, he took a lot of long jumpers. I don't know how much they really necessarily are going to miss him on the offensive end, but obviously he does play great defensively. But you have Adams, who's elite, and Cantor has showed slight improvement, I think you could say, at least on the defensive end.
Right. He's at least improved, and he's still young and developing athletically within his.
And Sabonis is very nice defensively. He's a good defensive player.
It's going to be fun to see some of these lineups that the Thunder toss out there this season.
Right, and Ilyasova is going to be drawing those charges like crazy.
Yes, he can step in and get that position for a nice charge.
Well, I'm really happy for you and Oladipo. It's a scary backcourt.
It's a dream come true, and a lot of people are knocking his three-point shooting ability. He was at 36% or maybe 34% this year, but after the first 19 games, he shot 39% for the year, and that's above league average. League average is 36. So
the funny thing is, his three-point shooting has always been knocked back to IU, the NBA. But if you look at any of his stats, he always shoots well from three. I'll never understand it.
He improved every year at IU, and he has improved every year in the league.
That's what I mean. I don't think it's glaring as much as it seems oh, he's broken, can't shoot.
Right. Oh man, I'm so excited for him to play alongside Russell. This is incredible.
Man, that's some athleticism. Holy crap.
Oh my gosh, the dunks that are going to be happening. We could talk about this for a while, but let's hone it in. I really got to get going. I'm going to Morocco tomorrow and
oh man, enjoy it.
Zoning in on that, and got to get packing here. So let's wrap it up.
Great stuff, dude. Great night. An awesome couple of guys we're adding to the squad. Good kids. That's all you can really ask for.
Again, that's Henry Ellenson and Mike Gbinije. Welcome to the team.
Welcome home.
Pistons. And thank you, listeners, wherever you're listening, iTunes, Stitcher, the various Droid apps, SoundCloud, whatever. Thank you for supporting us. This has been Drew with the Pass First Hoopscast.
And this has been Pat as well. Always appreciate the listen, and these Pistons are well on their way.
So that's that. Pass First, out.
Yes, sir. Pass First Media. We will talk to you guys next time.
Later.